Now we're going to talk about some sell highs now. And Dave, you've got Emeka Egbuka and Travis Etienne.
We touched on this with the Bucs wide receivers already. When Mike Evans comes back, what's that going to look like? What does that mean for Emeka Egbuka, who's been playing great? The highlight reel catches are amazing, and he is going to be the best wide receiver in Tampa rest of season. But I feel like you could get that quote-unquote king's ransom for him in trade because people are desperate for wide receiver help right now. So if you're really good at wide receiver, assuming that Emeka Egbuka is not going to get double-digit targets every single week, and we're assuming that Godwin and Evans, when they come back, they stay on the field, then there's definitely a downswing coming for Emeka Egbuka. For what it's worth, two things. One, Godwin had a high separation score from fantasy points data. And number two, in the second half last week, he actually looked pretty good. Like he was running. He didn't look good in the first half. I was watching him and I was going, he looks like a tight end. But in the second half, Godwin started to get going. He was indeed separating, as the data suggests. And he could end up being, I don't think 10 targets per game when Evans comes back, but 6 or 7. And I'm not making the joke. I'm literally suggesting he averages around 6 or 7 targets per game. And with Evans averaging 5 to 6, what's left for Emeka Egbuka?
No, I think, and listen, he's made that play every week, but he's kind of been one play away from a bad fantasy day in 3 of his 4 games for Egbuka. And last week's was like, holy cow, was that just a wish cast throw from Baker Mayfield, and it happened to go between 4 arms, and then there was nobody to stop Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah.
Maybe he keeps doing that every week.
77-yard touchdown for Egbuka last week. Travis Etienne.
I'm just going to keep saying his name every time he has a big game. He's doing great. This isn't to say he stinks. This isn't to say he's about to fall off, but we know that Bashal Tutin is there. We think Bashal Tutin will eventually have a larger role in that offense. And we know the history of Travis Etienne as well. So still a number 2 fantasy running back, but not somebody that I would say is going to finish the year top 12 unless there are a lot of injuries at the position. And
Etienne or Henry?
I'd rather have Henry.
I'll take Etienne.
Wow. Okay. Etienne's schedule's about.
Is Lamar out for the year?
Has Lamar missed the first month?
He kind of a little. I mean, we don't know how long he was.
He's the number 1 quarterback in fantasy, isn't he?
Yeah. All right. Dallas Goedert is a sell high for Heath, and so is DK Metcalf.
So I'll just say it. I didn't have the guts to put him on the list, but I'll go ahead and put it on recording so everybody can play it back. If you could get the moon, I wonder if Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, I knew it. I knew you were going to say
the concerns that we had before the season are no less existent. The 49ers are obviously cursed, but that's not really even what I'm saying. Their run game is terrible.
Yeah.
They cannot run the football. Christian McCaffrey's got 69 carries for 200 yards.
Yep.
No touchdowns rushing, but he has more targets than all but 5 wide receivers. So it doesn't matter at all.
May I make him an offer?
Is he going to have a 30% target share in the second half of the season when George Kittle's there and maybe they have a better number 1 wide receiver than Kendrick Bourne?
Yeah, I've had this.
They'll run the ball better when Kittle's there.
Yeah, they might run the ball better. Yeah, I've had the same thought, but again, it's King's ransom. And for me in that podcast league team, I have McCaffrey, and I need a lot of help. So I might try to turn him into two startable play, 2 must start players who are.
And when we say 2 startable, when I say 2 startable players, I'm not talking about 2 guys who are RB 20 and wide receiver 20.
No.
Like I'd be aiming for RB 12 and wide receiver 12.
Right.
So let me give you an offer, and this comes out to fair and full PPR on the trade chart. Saquon Barkley and Jalen Waddle.
You have to take that if you're.
You do.
Yep.
No question. All right, you know what? I'm gonna try to make a trade offer right now, and it's gonna involve Jalen Waddle. Okay.
How about Jackson Smith and
let's
Jigba?
repeat history. You've traded me Christian McCaffrey in a pinch before.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I've got a couple extra players. You should send me an offer in the podcast league.
Do you want one more trade offer, or do we need to move on?
Move on. Heath, finish up with your sell highs.
So I think you could put Dallas Goedert and Dalton Kincaid in the same tight end bucket of guys that have Dallas Goedert has 3 touchdowns in 3 games. Last year, he had 2 in 10. The year before, he had 3 in 14. The year before, he had 3 in 12. He's never had more than 5 touchdowns in a game. He's averaging 4 targets per game. The pass offense is terrible, and we all think A.J. Brown's going to get better. Any starting tight end I would take over Dallas Goedert. And Dalton Kincaid's pretty much the same thing. I think one thing that got lost in Dalton Kincaid's touchdown last week, which was great, is he played a season low 37% of the snaps. Jackson Hawes is playing more than him. He's just been a touchdown scorer.
Yeah. Okay.
Tight end that can carry you. Like if one of those guys happens to do that all year, which sometimes guys do, Jared Cook did it a couple times, but I don't want to rely on that versus targets for my fantasy starter. And then who was the other real name that I gave you?
Metcalf.
He had a great game. He looked like DK Metcalf on one play. I don't think he's a top 24 wide receiver. See if somebody does after that game.
Okay. Jamie, you've got Jordan Addison, who had the 81-yard catch, whatever it was, 80-plus yard catch, and George Pickens.
Pickens is obviously somebody you can still get something pretty solid for, I think, at this point, depending on how long anybody thinks CeeDee Lamb's going to be out, coming off that game that he just had. We'll see how he does this week against the Jets, if he's going to get Sauce Gardner. And, I'm not sitting him by any stretch, given the team's on a bye and what he just did from a target perspective. But clearly he will not get this much attention when Lamb is healthy. The plus is that Dak Prescott is on pace for 700-plus attempts. And so there's going to be a lot of volume to go around here for Pickens. So that's a positive. But again, this may be somebody you can get someone significant for, or him and somebody else to get a Jamar Chase. If you want to go maybe straight up for A.J. Brown, I think that might happen. Brian Thomas Jr., those type of players. If you believe in them, you could probably make that happen. In the case of Jordan Addison, not a lot of targets, big play. I'm concerned what will happen to this passing game for all these guys when McCarthy's back, based on what McCarthy looked like and how the offense was operating. And so Addison, touchdown potential last year was there. Touchdown potential, obviously, in his first game. Still crowded receiving core and questions about the quarterback moving forward. So, plus they have their bye still next week. So trade for him now, and you may not need to worry about playing him against Cleveland, tough matchup, and then not have him next week too.
So with Pickens, when Lamb gets back, Pickens is a top blank wide receiver for you.
I still think he's a top 24 receiver. I mean, again, just based on what he's capable of doing. But can you turn that into a top 10 receiver?
Receivers suck so bad right now. Would you rather have Waddle or Pickens?
Waddle.
I think Waddle makes more sense.
Cortland Sutton, who, by the way, has about a 20% target share. Not as good as we want. 27 targets.
It's a lot better than George Pickens when CeeDee Lamb's been healthy.
Well, there's only been 2 games. That's true. There's only been 2 games. He had 4 targets at Philly. He had 9 targets against the Giants. That was an overtime game, though. You're right. So Pickens or Sutton?
Sutton.
Okay. Pickens or Jordan Mason?
Mason.
Pickens.
I'm just probably not making that trade. I think I'm still going to be lower on Pickens once Lamb's back.
Pickens. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Pickens or Ken Walker?
Pickens.
Walker.